Good afternoon, everybody. I am here with my school bus, and we're starting the first big project on this thing. Well, it's not even that big of a project, but it's something that really needs to happen, especially since our doors, we have a huge air leak, and I don't want to fix it. Plus, these doors, they're crappy. They're fun, you know, because you have the button and they pop open and all that stuff, but we want a way to be able to lock this thing up and hopefully a better seal than what we got right now. So what my plan is here, my plan is to take these two door panels and basically weld them together here and turn this into one single panel. So we got hinges on both sides. I'm going to basically put the door handle here, and this thing is going to open up like this, so that way you can walk up in there. I think if we have it open up this way, well, one, if the door comes open on accident, the wind's going to catch it. So I think that for safety reasons, having the door open this way, so that way if somebody leaves it open or something happens, the wind is going to push it back closed instead of ripping it out off the hinges, basically. So what we're gonna do, the way I'm gonna start with this is I gotta get these rubber trim panels off here, and I gotta see how far apart these two doors are, and we'll see, you know, how much. We actually need to push this door over this way just a little bit. Hopefully we can compensate for that by whatever we put in the middle here. And then once we figure that out, we'll pull the doors off, and you know, we'll knock the hinges off of this side, and we'll have to come in here. I'll show you guys. We'll have to come in here with a grinder and a cutoff wheel probably, and we'll basically come in here between these hinges and we'll knock those hinge points off. And that'll give us a little bit more room to move this door over, just a hair, hopefully, just to get us onto the seal a little bit better. So we'll also have to, you know, pull whatever that is up there, that part of the hinge, same over here, disconnect it before we take it out, and then we're gonna have to seal that hole up. So yeah, this is the first big project on this thing, and then we have to get a door handle on this thing. So I'm thinking this is really the only place that the door handle could go. So, but how are we gonna fit a door handle and a deadbolt in there? That's a question, because I was hoping that's what I was going to do, was put a door handle with a deadbolt, but that's a tight space, so it might just be a door handle with a lock. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, we're going to start by taking the rubber trim off of there. See what we're dealing with. All right, so there are some Phillips head screws, it looks like. Alright, let's see what we got here. Holy moly, I did not think it was going to be a gap like that. Good grief. For some reason I thought the gap was going to be much smaller than that. Let's see how wide that is. Alright, let's see what we got here. Woo! We got 2 and almost 1/4 inches. How much do we have here? That's about a 1/2 inch. We can move it over that way. It's like 2 3/4. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. So if I take these two and I just weld them right next to each other, and then I fill in over here, then I've got extra room for a handle. So, you know, I didn't know that's what I was going to do going into this, but that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take these doors off, and then we're going to take them and we're just going to weld them straight to each other. And then we will also trim all this up, and then we'll rehang them and figure out how much room we have left and what material we're going to use to actually make that happen. So, because right now I got almost 2 1/4, and then I think we can move this over another half, almost 3/4 of an inch. So we might be able to put like a piece of 1x3 in here. We'll have a place to put our door handle, which hopefully 3 inches is wide enough for a door handle. Should be. Wasp nest empty. Yep. Hey, look at that. That wasn't too bad. I think we're gonna hang on to this. This could come in handy for something. An air-powered cylinder with the actuator block. So here's what you got in here. If I can actuate it. See, you got your hinges there. And then the air cylinder hooked up onto this one to move that. And then that in turn hooks over to this one. So the next thing we got to do is we're going to pull this cotter pin out of here. We're going to, or let's see if we can take this loose and take the whole thing up off of there. And then we got to come over here and do the same thing. We got to take this guy off of here. So we got a few more things to disassemble here. Doors off. Took out the tip of my impact. Alright, here we are. We got our 2 doors. Like I said before, we're going to weld these 2 together, not exactly like this. Well, we got like this. I got to cut that bracket still off the bottom there. And we're going to end up cutting both of these guys off of here. We don't need those anymore, and those are 2 holes that we can fill in. So we're going to weld them together like this. And then we're going to add 3 inches to one side, and that's going to give us our door. But first thing we need to do before we start any real work on this is we got to protect the glass. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this entire thing up, both sides, so that we don't end up with weld spatter in our glass. So that's first. Alright, it's the next day, and I went and I got this piece of 1x3 by, I think it's 0.87 wall thickness, rectangular tubing, and with this and these door handle and lock set, we are gonna have ourselves a door, a functioning door. So I gotta get this piece of tubing cleaned up and get it cut down, and then we're gonna end up welding it to that side, but I'm gonna flip it over this way. We'll get our clamps back out, we'll sandwich it together, we'll make sure everything looks nice, and then we'll start getting that welded in. Yesterday I got probably 2/3 of the welding done on each side, so you see I still have some stitching to do all the way along to get that finished in the middle, and same on the other side. When I flip it over, I gotta do the same. So, and then on this thing, when we put it down, the same thing, we're gonna have to run welds all up and down it. So we got a lot of welding to do, so I'm gonna get to it. Alright, here we are on a very chilly morning. I just finished up doing the grinding. I got the whole door welded together last night. I got the other side, the front side, all welded and grinded out. And then this morning I came in and finished grinding this side. And now we need to rehang the door so we can see what we're dealing with the handle, because it's not super straightforward about how we're going to be able to mount it. So we might have some more fabrication involved because, well, I'll explain to you when we get the candle out here why we need to do more fabrication. But I gotta go get my wife so she can help me hang this door. Alright, so here's what we got going here. We got this door jamb here. We gotta cut this part of it off where the hinge is on it because it's totally in the way. The door can't close with that in the way, so I gotta either A, pull this off, which is what I want to do, or B, come in here with the grinder and just cut it where it sits. Like I said, I'd rather pull it off, but that's gonna mean taking off a whole bunch of other stuff as well, which isn't the end of the world, but I'd rather not. I don't have to. Alright, so unfortunately this is one of those times when I thought I was recording a regular video, but I was in time-lapse trying to explain to you why the door handle wouldn't fit in the door as is. Alright, so I went to the metal supply store and I lucked out because they have 1.5 by 3.5. I didn't know that was an option as far as a piece of tubing. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to fit the door handles and everything to this, and then we're gonna fit this into the door. So that's the plan. We're gonna go in the garage. We're gonna start cleaning this up. We're gonna mark on it. We're gonna pop some holes in it, and we're gonna try and get those handles basically working independently in this. So that, you know, you can lock the deadbolt, unlock the deadbolt, and operate the handles, and then it will be ready to put in here. And then we still got other stuff to do after that. Let's get started. Alright guys, this is taking me way longer than it should, but there's a lot of finicky stuff going on here, you know. But now that we have this handle working, we got to get our deadbolt in here and get that working, so we got to drill and do all this stuff. Okay, here we go. Here's what we got so far. I still have to put a filler piece in here, but, oh yeah, and this is pretty freaking, it's just mocked up in here. Well, it's not mocked up in here, but it's bolted in there. Okay, here's what we got here. Hit the lock, and just like that, default code. Okay, bam. Then on the inside of the door. Okay, so now that we got that settled, this guy goes on there like so. Alright, so these two need to get welded together, and then this thing will be ready to go back in to our door. Well, into our door for the first time. So once I get this all put back together, I'm going to put the whole setup back together, make sure everything works, and then we're going to put it in the door, tack it in, all that stuff. That's coming up. Good morning everybody. I wanted to show you, I got this whole thing welded up, grinded down, 100% ready to go into the bus door last night. I want to show you guys that it works. Let's see. Okay, so now that we have this, we can take this to the bus. Well, we got to take all the handles out again. Take this to the bus, mark it out, and cut the door and weld this sucker in. That's the plan anyways. I also have a couple, I made sure and drilled a couple of holes in the bottom in case water makes its way in the handle somehow, which it could, totally could. Probably will. So we got drain holes on the bottom for it. So first I'm going to take all this stuff out, then we're going to go out to the bus. We'll mark this thing off and get it, start getting it installed. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. Goes like this. Deadbolt right there. Alright, now it's time to, I think we're going to pull the door off, take it inside to cut it. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to cut it right here. Just because it'll be easier, at least for this piece, this part. right, here's where we're at, guys. We rehung the door, and then we got our latches in now, and I realized that our latches were not there. I mean, we had this big gap still between the frame and where our latch needs to go. Now the seal on the door is really good. It's in a good spot, but this right here was too far away. So now we got this plate welded in. We got our seal back in. I got the top seal back in the door. See there? We plugged that hole there, plugged that hole there, and then we plugged 4 holes in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of this is done. I'm happy about that. We could actually put that cover back on there, which I'm gonna do here in a second, but now we need to basically drill our holes for where our deadbolt and our latch are gonna go, and that's kind of nerve-wracking. I'm gonna close the door, I'm gonna mark it, we gotta get it perfect. So let's get this cover back on, and then we'll work on that. All right, check it out. We got that in there, and now we have a new cabinet, a new storage area. So no more air cylinder in there, no more air lines, wires, nothing. Just a clean space. Yep. The last thing to do to get this thing to actually latch is to drill those holes, and then we're gonna have to pull this door off again one last time, bring it in the shop, do some body filler work, some sanding, and paint it before it goes on finally. But first we got to get those latches in there, or get the holes drilled so the latches can actually latch. Good morning, everybody. We had to wait for this thing to dry for like a full day. It was really sticky. It's not been that warm out here. We've had heaters going and stuff, but now it seems pretty good. So this is the inside of the door. See what the outside of the door looks like. Bam. Whew. Alright, so now I got a little bit of paint that bled through here. Got a little cleanup to do on this, but let's get this thing hung. Let's see if we can hang this thing by ourselves. Alright, looks like we got some weather coming in, but here's our setup here. Got our handle, it closes nicely, hit the lock button, give it just a little push, and it goes in. And it's nice and secure and snug, you know, it's not going to rattle around, hopefully. But yeah, there we go. We got a house, lock, and cylinder set on a bus door. Let me get you a little closer. Oh, let's see. Just just like that. Bam. See? Takes a little bit of getting used to. I mean, I could have made the hole a little bit further this way, but you know, I like having that positive. You know, you have to push it a little bit, you know, so it's nice and tight up against the seal. I got a couple of runs. I got one here. I got one good one down here, but I'm gonna wait until this paint really hardens. See, it's already still slightly soft. So I'm gonna wait for the paint to fully harden, and then we'll come in here and we'll wet sand this and we'll touch it up. But other than that, this project is done. Alright, I hope you guys liked this project. It was a huge undertaking. I thought it was going to take me like 2 days to do. It took me like 3 days of fabrication and another of painting and then another one to wait for the paint to dry. So all about a 5-day project. But I'm super happy with it. I'm excited that this is done and that we have a normal operating door. So I don't have to worry about the air system anymore or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. There are some things I would do differently if I was going to do it again. You know, some things I learned about all this, but that's the way it goes. If you guys could please smash that like button for me, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell to get notified when new videos come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.